Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having an incredible day in Jesus. Thank you so much for being with us. We're looking at some quotes about the King James Version, michelleblake.com, great website. And this is on the musicality of the KJV. Now, this first quote we're going to be reading is from Leland Ryken, big KJV fan, who was the literary editor of the ESV. I think he's one of the main reasons, not the very main reason, for the popularity of the King James Version. ESV version. I was thinking about his son, I think it is Philip Ryken, some theologian of note as well. So let's get started. And this is Ryken, the Word of God in English, where he really praises the KJV. So he says, good rhythm for a Bible is like a qualifying exam. If a translation cannot measure up on this matter, it's not in the running to be a superior Bible for public use and oral reading in more private situations. The best test of rhythm is simply to read passages aloud. If in oral reading a passage ebbs and flows smoothly, avoids abrupt stops between words and phrases where possible, and provides a sense of continuity, it is rhythmically excellent, kind of like the original. If a translation clutters the flow of language and is consistently staccato in effect, it is rhythmically inferior. You have to remember the Bible, both Old and New Testament, were meant to be read aloud so often. We forget that. All of these, because before the printing press, just limitations on who had them. All of these considerations make rhythm an essential translation issue, not a peripheral one. For a book that is read aloud as often as the Bible is, and for a book whose utterances are so frequently charged with a strong feeling of sublime ideas, excellent rhythm should be regarded as a given. That's Leland Ryken, the Word of God in English. I remember reading a quote from a Catholic, I think his name was Edds, E-D-D-S, 1798, and he said that the rhythmic quality just had made the KJV so superior. And look at the great hymnologies that have been done from the KJV over the years, whether it be Psalms or everything, Amazing Grace, all the Fanny Crosbys of the world and all this. So Tim Brierley says this, King James is poetry. You find that as soon as you start saying it out loud, it helps you. The words start to carry you along, and it's got that resonance to it. Now, I do find it fascinating that the most brilliant people in the world, by and large, love the King James. And so it's always kind of interesting to me when people don't like the King James. Okay, the simplicity and elegance of the KJV. We're concerned here with something that is spiritual, something that does not belong to this world at all. Human wisdom is no value here. And this is by Martin Lloyd-Jones. What a theologian preacher he was. It is spiritual truth. Yet we're told that it must be put in such simple terms and language that nobody taking it up and reading it is going to understand all about it. My friends, that's sheer nonsense. What we must do is educate the mass of people up to the Bible, not bring the Bible down to their level. The common man is made to stand up to authority. He decided everything. Everything has to be brought down to him. How do we do that with the Word of God? I say no. What we need, therefore, is not to replace the AV, Authorized Version, King James. We need rather to preach and train people up to the standard, the language, dignity, glory of the old AV. Albert S. Cook, in the Authorized Version of the Bible and its influence, says every sentence and every word must count. The spirit which animates the whole must inform every particle. There's no room for delicate shadings, and issues are too momentous. The concerns too iron to admit of introducing anything that can be spared. A volume is compressed into a page into a line. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Like an example of that, Jesus wept. Albert S. Cook, the Authorized Version of the Bible and its influence. Read some of those books that are out there. Years ago, I got several of the books praising the King James from a secular viewpoint, and I was unable to do videos. What had happened is they got boxed up inadvertently. and so I couldn't do the videos I'd like to. There's tons out there. Jonathan Swift of Gulliver's Travels says this: the translators of our Bible were masters of an English style much fitter for that work than any which we have in our present writings, which I take to be owing to the simplicity that runs through the whole. Now, it is simple. The average syllable count is, I think it's 1.3 something syllables, which is extraordinarily simple. And the average letter count per word is under 4. It's 3.968 or something like that, which is incredible, especially when you think of place names like Bethlehem and Nazareth and people, Meher Shalal-Hashbaz, and these Abraham. So most of the Bible, turn anywhere, it's not a proper name. It's just extremely simple. Charlton Heston says this: the authors of several boring translations that have followed over the last 50 years mumble that the KJV is difficult, filled with long words. Have a look at the difficult long words that begin the Old Testament and in the Gospels. So Heston saying, here's how difficult it is. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. It's almost all one-syllable words. And now this is from his In the Arena, an autobiography. Now the other things which Jesus did, if they should be written, every one, I suppose the world itself could not contain the books that would be written. So the foundation of the King James Bible, this is by William Phelps from Yale University. The Bible is not only the foundation of modern English, which it is in Tyndale as well, it is the foundation of Anglo-Saxon civilization. Raymond Blanton said this in 1995: until you come to realize that we have an absolute authority, perfect and settled in the King James Version, you're not prepared to serve the Lord. It is a basic essential to Christian service. Leland Ryken, once again, from approximately 1700 to 1950, the King James Bible was the preeminent book in England and America in virtually every sphere of society that we can name. KJV was preeminent in family, religion, church, politics, education, literature, art, and music. The foundation on which everything else rested was the influence of the King James Version on the English language. Think about that. It built the world. Horace Greeley said it is impossible to enslave a Bible-reading people. The principles of the Bible are the groundwork of human freedom. George Washington said it is impossible to rightly govern the world without God and the Bible. Guess what? He had a King James Bible in mind. John Jay, first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, I think he also was one of the first, if not the first, head of the American Bible Society. The Bible is the best of all books, for it is the Word of God and teaches us the way to be happy in this world and the next. Continue, therefore, to read it and to regulate your life by its precepts. This is John Jay, first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. What would they call him today? We're going to stop there, but God willing, on michelleblake.com, we're going to read some more of these great quotes about the KJV. Just fall in love with the Word of God. Don't believe all the lies you've been told about the KJV. God bless you. Bye-bye.